All right, get ready for this.
This storm is going to linger over New Jersey for 36 hours or more. This has the potential to be worse because it will linger.
When the storm hit, we were actually in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico on vacation. And I guess our first hint as to the strength of the storm was we were watching TV in Cabo. We were watching a Spanish-speaking station, and we saw the footage of this terrible storm surge and homes being carried all over the place. And I heard the announcer say in Spanish, "En Estados Unidos, Mantoloking, New Jersey." And I knew we were in big trouble at that point.
This storm is so big, so vast, 60 million Americans will feel its power.
We were anticipating a large storm event when we weren't anticipating what had actually happened.
I hear the chief calling, "Bridge is impassable, there's a house on the bridge." So I go, oh boy. I looked at Officer Brunis, I said, this can't be good.
North side, we saw the waves unobstructed. South side, we watched, I forget the house number, but the last name is Mazikian's house. We watched that actually come off the foundation and float into the bay and then crash into the side of the bridge.
2 houses on the beach across from us went, and then the house almost directly across the street ground down to its first floor and turned catty corner on the road, and that was alarming.
A little shocking to see for the most part. So at that point, we kind of watched for a few minutes. We realized that, okay, the storm was much worse than we had anticipated it to be.
All of a sudden, I hear Lieutenant Barker screaming, "Get off the bridge, everybody off the bridge," on the radio. We get back to towboat, he was like a ghost, like he saw a ghost. And I saw parts of things floating around down there. It was eerie.
When I saw the amount of water pouring into the lake, I said, this could be different.
This is first observation of Route 35. That's 35 South. Oh my God. I arranged with a friend, Chris Nelson, to pick me up by boat, and he dropped me off up right behind some houses on Barnegat Lane. I made my way through debris, gas coming out of broken gas lines. I don't like the sound of that. I made my way over to my house, which is only 4 houses away, but it took about half an hour, and I saw what I saw.
All the lines are down. Oh my God, it's just terrible.
Look how high the sand is up to the mailbox.
I just can't imagine what really happened.
And it wasn't until we got to the foot of the bridge that we realized how bad the devastation was in town.
Unreal. I mean, the cars, the couches, the sand all over the street, the desolation and the devastation combined were crazy, crazy.
When we had set up the Northern Command post area, because the island was cut into thirds, I remember being up there when some of the residents were being allowed to come back on island under a controlled situation, and seeing them when they came back from their homes from being escorted. And all I could attribute it to was not only were they in shock, but they had what I called the 1,000-yard stare.
Every part of our town was damaged, which was enormous. And the other thing is, and it's probably not for public consumption, but believe it or not, the 1%ers have emotions too. We're not allowed to talk about it because this is a fairly wealthy community, but we were hurt.
This was the worst day of my life to see that. And our house was still there, my parents' house, but my buddy's house is completely gone with nothing there but sand. That was it.
We're going to try and be as, quote, normal as we possibly can. We're going to be back.
It's been challenging. It's really been. I mean, there's a lot going on. It's a construction site. It's not really a town right now.
The most important thing was to close the inlets up. And that was dividing the town into, basically 5 sections. But once that was closed up, then we could get through town. We could get emergency vehicles through town, the police could police, and we could start on the major infrastructure stuff that we had to do.
I think Mantoloking has done an incredible job. I think they were very, very prudent to close the town as they did.
They kept us very, very monitored. Everybody monitored from the first stages where we had to take the little mini bus in, and you only were allowed here for a certain amount of time with a curfew.
And it was amazing what people brought out. Some people brought out paintings, some people brought out their favorite plant, some people brought out their jewelry, some people brought out their favorite coffee mug.
I think had they opened it up to just everybody going wild, it would have been dangerous. It would have not been great. I think they did everything they needed to do.
Friendships between our paid employees, our volunteers, provided not only redundancy but efficiency, because we all know how to work with each other, what strengths they have, and we know most of our residents. So we were able to address things with the outside agencies that arrived on scene pretty quickly.
Up and down the Jersey Shore here, I think everybody has that resiliency. They want to get back to, quote, what was normal to them prior to. Even though it never will be exactly the same, things are going to change, things change all the time. But it's the resiliency that our residents particularly, want to have that sense of normalcy again, for themselves, for their children, and have the Jersey Shore, especially in the summertime, when everybody wants to be at the Jersey Shore and enjoy it.
This yacht club is a very strong part of this whole community as to why they come here. Not everybody in town belongs, but a vast majority belong here, and this is their summer is based around coming to this thing from not only the sailing, the tennis, the social, the boating, everything. It's their center of the universe is coming here, and if that wasn't done, they may not even bother to come back and live on their second floor.
I said, look, if we get to 50% participation in anything we do here, we should be very, very happy. We're running about 80%. We have 80-85% of what we had last year in our sailing program, our tennis program. We run these family-style dinners every Friday night. They're running about 80-85%. And in addition to the Memorial Day, we also did something for the 4th of July where we put out this, 60-foot tent, held a big open barbecue for the entire town, and 700 people showed up.
Everybody from the very beginning communicated. The borough is active as every agency to try to keep in touch with our residents. Likewise, our residents felt familiar enough with their various service agencies and borough staff to call, and everyone took the time to get the best advice that they could, and that's where we stand now.
From day one, we've addressed the storm as a community. We have town council meetings. Up until last month, every 2 weeks. I can count on my hand maybe the time where people raised their voices or got upset, and over the last 8 months, there was a lot for people to get upset about, and they didn't. And I think that was really refreshing. To get 400, maybe 500 people on a week before Christmas in the pouring rain to watch a 10-foot tree get lit on top of a sand dune and sing Christmas carols is pretty remarkable. And they came from all over.
The greatest place on earth, I gotta tell you. This town was a close-knit, great community. It still is a great community. It's still close to that. I don't want to be, but things are just bad now, obviously. But before the storm, it was law enforcement's best kept secret as far as the law enforcement goes. The people here are great.
Mantoloking is a unique residential town. I think it's a very friendly town. I think it's a wonderful place to be able to raise your children, and it's a typical shore town that cares about its residents, cares about the environment, and just wants to be that environment that you would want to come and live here.
It's a really nice, generational, kind, perfect beach town.
Small town, it's less than a half a square mile. It runs 2.2 miles along the ocean, so in some spots it's very narrow, and indeed, where I live, it's only 3 houses wide.
It's only 2 miles long. 2 miles long and not too wide. But it's just a great little town. People care about their houses, they love their gardens. People are very friendly.
It has 525 houses, or it did have 525 houses before the storm. At least 100 are now gone, 50 plus from the storm itself, and then another 50 were demolished. and there'll probably be more demolition. There'll probably be as many as 150 houses will be gone.
It'll be different. It'll be different. I have high hopes that it'll be better, but a lot of the old houses that were here for decades are gone. And they brought a certain character to the town that, you know, I think that'll be hard to replace.
As long as that beach gets replenished, I think it's going to get better and strong, built better and stronger.
You know, people are resilient, and I think that's in any community that gets hit hard. But this was a great place. It's why we moved here. It's why we built a house here, and feel very, very fortunate to be part of it.
Everybody's coming back. It's all the same great people we had beforehand. This is just a hiccup in the road. And once the hiccup's done, we'll be right back to where we were beforehand. We'll have a nice town again. It'll probably be better, honestly.
I see wonderful things. It's very hard now to imagine us being what we were, but we will.
I would hope that the town wouldn't change much. It's pretty much a throwback town. You don't get many towns like it, so I would hope it wouldn't change much.
I do know of a couple people whose houses are gone and they have now permits to rebuild. So some people have gone that far.
I think it's given Mantoloking a renewed sense of spirit. And I think people should recognize that about this town. I'm very proud of that.
Human spirit is unbelievable.
There's a lot of hard-working people here. They're giving it their all. And the town will come back. It'll take a while, but it'll come back.
We're all coming back. It's going to be restored in a magnificent way, and people are, we're all doing it with a vengeance. Very purposefully, we're putting things back together and looking forward to having it restored.
People should look at Mantoloking as a place that's fighting back. It really is. I mean, the devastation here was horrendous.
The enormity of the destruction is overwhelming, but yet, you know, when you look at what's going on here, it's as if nothing ever happened.
For the next 3 or 5 years, it's going to still look like a construction zone. Obviously, we have there's just physically a lot of work to put the town back together, but I firmly believe that's going to happen. I don't think anything's going to stop that. You know, the houses may be a little higher in the air because of the flood and the FEMA rules and things we have to deal with, but I think as a community, as the kind of safe place for your kids, you know, the special place that it represented in everybody's hearts.
It'll be just like it was before, maybe better.
And I see a bright future for Mantoloking. I see, you know, my kids growing up here, my grandkids growing up here, and everybody else. And we'll be stronger than ever.